Welcome to the slice.
Welcome to the slice.
Welcome to the slice.
Now we turn to a clay season preview. So this clay season is exciting because we got the big three in action on the clay for the first time in like 3 years. Federer's playing, Nadal's playing, Djokovic is playing. Like 2 years ago, last year, Djokovic was just coming back. Federer wasn't playing, Nadal was creaming everyone. But this year, Federer's playing because he said he's in the mood and he hasn't played for a while and he's feeling good. His plan is to start playing again at Madrid. And he's got 0 points to defend. So I think that that's a big deal for him because I think that if he does well and he gets all these points, conspiracy theory or, hot take, I think he could be the #2 player in the world by the time old Wimbledon comes around because he's literally just adding all these points that he didn't have. Like, even if he doesn't do that well and he makes like the quarterfinals of each tournament, which would be like not well in his fans' eyes, but would still be obviously like an objectively good result, he would get so many points. And I think that I don't know where that would take him to in the race. Depends how like the other guys do, but Nadal has obviously like points to defend in every single tournament, and he can really only go down from here in this season. So it's like more pressure on him. But Nadal's looking good for clay. I saw a video today of him hitting on the clay, putting lots of pressure on both knees. So I think it's his tendonitis, which comes from a foot problem, flares up after a while. And moving for him on a hard court is much harder than moving for him on a clay court. So when he's moving on the clay, it's not as big of a deal. Like Federer, I think it hurts his body more on clay because the rallies are just longer. The matches are longer. It wears him down more. But Nadal, it's more natural for him, and he knows how to move without, having his knees flare up as much. And Djokovic is playing. So Djokovic is playing, but he's got stuff going on off the court. That's what he said. He didn't look good in Indian Wells or Miami, but he's still the #1 player in the world, and he's won the last 3 majors. So you just kind of have to give him the benefit of the doubt right now that he's going to be able to pull it around for the clay season and play better. He's a great player on clay. He's won the French Open, and we'll see how he goes. But now I have the most dangerous players on clay in 2019. I have a list here of 6 guys who I think are the most dangerous players in succession of their danger. And I'm not like 100% on this list in the order that it is, but I'd like to hear your opinion on it because this is just what I think. So I got Nadal at the top no matter what. He's the greatest player on clay of all time. And we've seen him not do well at Indian Wells and Miami before and then come back and just absolutely murder the clay season. So I have no reason to doubt that he won't. His injuries don't seem new or like different than the ones he's had in the past. So I'm putting Nadal as definitely the most dangerous person on clay. It would be pretty stupid to do anything else or say anyone else. #2, though, I got Dominic Thiem. So Dominic Thiem made it to the Roland Garros final last year and played very well in Indian Wells on that surface, which is extremely similar to clay. Super high bouncing, super slow. So Thiem played well there. He obviously like lost early in Miami, but I'm still putting him ahead of Djokovic because Djokovic didn't look so good in the Sunshine Double there. And Thiem last year played better than Djokovic on clay. That was obviously Djokovic kind of just getting back into it. And by the end of the clay season, he was obviously feeling good because then he won Wimbledon somehow. That's when Djokovic really stamped his "I'm back, bitches" on the clay. You know what I mean? But I'm putting Thiem above Djokovic because, yeah, I think he played really well at Indian Wells and he showed that he's locked in. He won that tournament, which I think is going to give him even more power when it comes to if he's getting to the final of these Masters 1000s tournaments, which he has lots before. And he's playing somebody like Nadal. I think it'll give him more of a reserve in his mind where he goes, I know how to get over the hump and win this tournament. And beat Nadal in the final. So I'm putting Thiem as the 2nd most dangerous player on clay. I got Djokovic as the 3rd because he's still won the last 3 majors. He's the #1 player in the world. And we don't know. It's a bit more of an up in the air as far as what he can do. I think he could come and win like pretty much every tournament. He could go toe-to-toe with Nadal on the clay. Or he could not be at his level and his off-court stuff could still be hindering him. And he could just be getting a weird funk again. Who knows? Literally, who knows? Last year, I made a video after Indian Wells being like, what is going on with Novak Djokovic? And 3 months later, he was winning Wimbledon. And then he's won basically everything since then, it seems like. So you never really know with this guy. And we're going to see. Like, could he go back into another funk where he's just like never recovers from it? He could. This could be the end. His coaches seemed kind of stressed out when I saw them in in Miami. They didn't seem to have this confident swagger where, yeah, we're the coaches of the world #1, who's doing great, and there's no worries. It seemed like they were pretty tense, even when they were watching Bernard Tomic play, and they were like scouting him, it just seemed a bit weird to me. But maybe they're all like that, or they're like that all the time. I don't know. But I'm just gonna check something here quick. Sometimes I get spooked out that things aren't plugged in. But you guys know how it is. So I got Djokovic in number 3. After that, I got number 4, Zverev. Because Zverev played very well on the clay last year. He beat, I think, a team in the final of Madrid or Rome. I can't remember which one. Should have looked that up. But he's great on clay, and he gets slept on a lot. I was asking him a question in Miami. He said you could tell he was frustrated by people are saying he's inconsistent, but in reality, he's probably been the most consistent Masters 1000 player in the last 12 months. He's won Masters 1000s. He won it obviously he didn't win in Montreal last year, but he won on the clay last year. I can't figure out which one, but he won the World Tour Finals, and he's just been looking great. And he's just been consistently getting deep in those tournaments. Not always winning them, but getting deep. It's the Grand Slams where he's been crashing out early, but that's going to change. He's still only 20 years old. Federer didn't make his big come out into winning Grand Slams until he's 22. So it's just crazy to me how much time these young guys have. So Zverev's number 4 because I think he's that level on clay, and he's ranked number 3 right now in the world. So yeah, you got to give that to him. Number 5, I put Stefanos Tsitsipas because he's also great on clay, and he looks fired up. He lost kind of early in Miami and in New Wells, but honestly, yeah, on clay, that's where he first came out as a big player, and that's, I think, his most natural surface. And he showed that he can hurt any of the big players and go toe-to-toe with Nadal on the surface, hurt him. So I'm putting him above Federer, which might be a little bit controversial because of, what Federer's done, but we just don't know what we're going to see from Fed. But I could easily sit these 4, 5, 6. I don't really have much of a thing. Federer could honestly put him up as high as being better than Djokovic on clay right now. You never know. It's just going to see how he plays because he's been off of it for so long. We don't know what to expect, but you can expect that he's still probably the best ball striker on the tour. I think he knows the game of tennis better than anyone else. And I think he's going to find ways to win against pretty much everyone else except for Nadal or Thiem or Djokovic or Zverev or Tsitsipas. I don't know. These guys are going to be his biggest problem, but that's what I think. Federer's the 6th most dangerous player on clay because he's got that repertoire of just knowing how to win matches, knowing how to play on different surfaces. And he grew up on clay, which is what he always says when people say, it's your worst surface. He's like, yeah, but I still won the French Open, and I've won I think 6 Masters 1000 or 6 tournaments or 7 tournaments on clay in my life, which really isn't a lot for him. Or is it 11? I'm sorry, guys. I've had these stats, and I've previewed his clay swing already once before, and I have more stats about that then. But yeah, Federer's still going to be dangerous on clay, obviously. And I'm just excited to see what type of danger that brings, how he looks on clay, how he matches up against these other players. But yeah, those are my top 6 most dangerous players on clay. 1 Nadal, 2 Thiem, 3 Djokovic, 4 Zverev, 5 Tsitsipas, and 6 Federer. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.